Hey, it's Greg Harrelson here, and I just want to talk about something that seems to be buzzing all over the industry, and that is the market shifting. Is the market going to shift? Is it already shifting? My question is, should we even care as real estate professionals if the market shifts or not? Now, of course, as you hear that, that might sound, yeah, of course we should care. And the answer is yes, we should care for our clients. We don't want our clients to suffer. We don't want property values to go down and our client base lose equity in their homes, or buyers be in a situation where they can't find the property they want, or the prices go too high where they cannot afford to purchase anymore. So we do not want ill will on anyone, especially at the result of a market shift. But should we really care as real estate professionals? The answer to that one is no. We shouldn't really care, because if we set up our businesses correctly, a market shift could help the professional real estate agent, because some of the part-timers will go out of the business and there'll be a larger piece, or the pie will be shared by fewer real estate agents. Now, again, I don't want anybody to suffer because of a downturn, but the reality is there will be people that will suffer through a downturn. And there's a key, there's a few key things that you can focus on to make sure that you're not one of those agents that suffers. You know, wouldn't it be nice to care but not really care that much, because your business is so stable that you're not really that concerned if the market shifts? I mean, wouldn't that be the type of business you want to build? Let me give you 3 things that I've written down that I feel if you do these, then you don't have to be worried about a shift, and you can turn your attention away from yourself and your survival in the business, and you can turn it to helping your clients. Number 1, go lean. What do I mean by go lean? I mean, take your credit card statements out immediately. Look at your credit card statements and see all the items that you're purchasing on a reoccurring basis, and ask yourself, is there anything that you've got that you're paying for right now that you forgot that you're paying for, that you just need to make a simple call and cancel the subscription? Most real estate agents have something on their credit card on some sort of auto pay rotation that they don't even remember. Maybe it's a $5 item, maybe it's a $50 item. I hope it's not a $300 item, but go lean, go start looking for that information. The second thing, while you're looking at your expenses, ask yourself this: are you able to track a return on that investment? You see, there's a difference between something being an expense and something being an investment. And that is, an expense typically doesn't come with any type of return. You know, you have an electricity bill, you have to pay that expense. Now, I guess we could argue the return is as you get light. Sure, there's some trackable return from that standpoint, but it's not a monetary return. You know, I'm talking about, if you're spending money on this service, are you getting this amount of business and closing this many deals, making this amount of money, and the amount of money you're making is more than the amount of expense that you're giving? If that's the case, then that's an investment. So start looking at the expenses that you have and ask yourself, are these really expenses or are they investments? And in order to be an investment, it's got to produce a return. Start eliminating the things that you're paying for that you cannot trace back to a return on your investment, and make sure it's a positive return, because sometimes you can track a return, it's just in the wrong direction, it's a negative return. So those are the things that you need to focus on when in terms of going lean. Go lean. The second thing I wrote here down is collaborate. You see, when things start shifting, if they do, I don't even know if they're going to shift. I don't want to predict the future. But what I do know is that whether it shifts or you do not, if you go lean, you'll be in a better position. If you start collaborating, start working with agents in your office who are willing to sit down, have lunch, have meetings, mastermind together, like mastermind around the topics of how are you going to grow your inventory in a shifting market? How are you going to work with more buyers and write more contracts in a shifting market? Unfortunately, most office environments are not built for collaboration. And that's why you'll have a few agents that are doing good. You have a lot of agents that are really not doing so good. And they don't intermingle with each other as if they've got these secrets that nobody wants to share their secret sauce. See, when the market starts to shift, we all need to share our secret sauce. at least the people that you work with. We need to have a more collaborative mindset because some of the things that you're going to do to survive, I may not have thought of, and vice versa. I may think of some things that you haven't thought of, and we can trade those ideas. There's enough business out there that if we actually collaborated and worked more like a team, not necessarily be on each other's team, but worked more like a team, those who collaborate will grow. Those who are kind of like out on an island all by themselves trying to figure it out with no assistance, no collaboration, those are the ones that typically have challenges when the market shifts. The third thing is this. I wrote down, be active, not passive. The days of just waiting for the phone to ring, those days will be fewer and fewer in a shifting market. So if the market was to shift, you want to be more active. You want to go lean, you want to collaborate, and you want to be active. Now, I understand some people might say, well, Greg, I don't want to prospect. I just said be active. I didn't say you had to prospect. Prospecting would be one way to be active. It would be a form of active lead generation. Open houses would be another form of active. Social media, good social media ads that produce a return, that would be active. Direct mail would be active. Yes, of course, just sold calls, expireds, or prospecting would be active. My point is be active. See, if you go lean, you collaborate, and you're active, you'll survive. Because in a shifting market, most people will focus on going lean, but they'll go lean and start cutting expenses too late. No, do that early in the game. Do that before the market shifts. Already go lean before the market shifts. Don't wait until you're experiencing some sort of financial strain. Collaborate. Don't wait until the market shifts. Start collaborating. What if this was to happen? That's what we're doing in our office. For the last 6 months, we've been studying and brainstorming and masterminding. What if the market was to shift? What do we do then? And why don't we go ahead and start doing it before it shifts so we're ahead of the curve? See, that's what it's like to be in an office like ours where we collaborate. We're 6 months into, 12 months into this conversation. So as things are starting to change, we've already changed. We changed before the market changed, and that helps us be, again, ahead of the curve. And then of course, you got to be active. Start being active because unfortunately, when the market shifts, people get a little frustrated. They get a little depressed. They get a little stressed, and then what do? They retreat and do nothing, as if doing nothing will make them feel better at a time that they don't feel so good. But what we really know is doing nothing leads to more nothing, and then that leads to more stress and panic. And then people fall out of the business, or they start making decisions that are for the short term, and they really don't make good long-term decisions. It comes to bite them a little bit later on. So it's important that no matter what's going on in your market, you've got to follow these 3 simple rules, because I think this is the perfect formula. If you want the formula for not having to compare about the shift, the formula is this. When you, less expenses plus more ideas plus more leads equals more business no matter what the market does. See, when you've got less expenses and you're collaborating more and you're generating more leads, you don't really have to care what the market does. Again, we do care because we want our clients to be in the best financial position they can be. Sometimes a shift in the market hurts the clients in that way, so we don't want them to hurt. But we shouldn't have to stress because we're worried about our business. So I'm Greg Harrelson, Century 21, the Harrelson Group, of course, in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I also have Barefoot Realty in North Myrtle Beach, and then offices in Charleston and Columbia, South Carolina. These are the things that we're talking about in our office that I'm coaching on, and not only in order to help my agents survive, but more important, to help them grow and thrive no matter what the market does. I would love to sit down and have an opportunity to share with you some of our coaching strategies in hopes I could make a difference for you. And if you ever think that you'd like to try on a different company, I'd love to have the opportunity to talk to you about that. We'll talk soon.